So not had any videos out for a while. Decided to actually do a GT3 race last night. Ended up in a much stronger field than I was expecting, especially for a first race back after probably about a year, really. Um, Bit of an interesting first corner, I think. And I was sort of watching it back, and I thought there might be something that could be learnt from it, and really how I was trying to get through it. So I'm starting sixth here, and I'm about 8 tenths off the pole. So I know that I'm not really the fastest car in here, or at least definitely not in qualifying. So I'm kind of just thinking that if I can just have a clean race, get everything kind of right, like pit stops and everything, um, that I'll come out probably not really losing any I rating and gaining some experience from it. So as we're coming around to the start here, I'm just going to pause for a second. We've got a Ferrari up there that took the pole. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but I think it's Marin. He was extremely fast. And then we got one, two, three, four if you count me, Mercedes here. And then you can't see it because it's off the screen to the side, but there's a yellow BMW. You might just see him move up here. Now, Marin's kind of stacking the start a little bit, and that's fine. It's perfectly entitled to do that. There's no problem with that whatsoever. It's his decision when he goes. Everybody knows that. So as we can see, everybody's kind of starting to bunch up here. Now, really, I'm kind of thinking at this point about what's going on in the first corner. Really, I'm just going to try and get a good position so that I'm not going to get caught up in anything that's going to happen. Now, you can see there's a bit of jostling here. The yellow BMW's actually just hit the back of this Mercedes. And that kind of, right there, that's a warning to me in the sense that these people aren't bad. What you got to understand is that everybody in this group, I'm pretty sure, had an I rating over 5,500. There's two guys in this group that have got 7,400 I rating, so they're all good. But this kind of thing that's going on here, that tells me that people have got plans to be extremely aggressive on this start. And I mean, it's a really difficult track to pass on, so I can understand why people want to do that. But my plan for this race is not really to get involved in that. I'm trying to just have a good race, run my own deal, not really get dragged into what other people are doing. So that right there is a warning to me that these guys are probably the yellow BMW behind is going to be pretty aggressive going down into this first turn. Okay, so coming into the restart, just a little trick that I actually picked up on ovals is on these kind of restarts. Well, start in this case. If you look, I'm just dragging a little bit of brake whilst I'm keeping a good deal of throttle on. And basically I'm doing this because I noticed that if you lift, the lag between you lifting completely out and getting back in the gas is a lot longer than it is to just release your foot off the brake. And you'll kind of see that play out here. So we're coming to it. You see Marin's going, and I actually got a really good jump on the BMW. So I'm in fifth right now. I can see these guys. I can see right here this Mercedes. He's got a pretty good run. He's gonna try and get to the lead right here. Now I'm just gonna go to the chopper cam. So you can see I'm here. This BMW's here. I can see that this deal is going on up here. Now I make this sweep across the track, and some might say that it's me kind of trying to run a block. I don't see it that way at all. What I'm trying to do here is, the way I figure it is that if I'm on the inside line into this corner, I'm gonna run that inside round the corner, and I'm doing this because I'm pretty sure something's gonna happen up here. I see these guys cutting the opposite way, Marin cutting across to basically take the inside too. So really, I'm just trying to get here so that I am out of the way if anything does happen. And I mean, as we can see, we've got a 3 wide going up here almost. So I'm pretty sure something's gonna happen. And as you can see, the other Mercedes in front of me is kind of doing the same thing. Really, this is just about being assertive in what you're trying to do. I'm not trying to block the guy behind me. I'm just trying to make it very clear what my intention is into this corner. So as we can see here, we've had a little bit of contact between the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Go to the chopper cam again, we can see it. Now, obviously this is bad. You got 3 wide, you've already got contact between 2 cars. Now, when I'm seeing this from the cockpit cam, all I can see is that. Now to me, if there's a wreck going on, my obvious place is where I want to be is on the inside of the corner. Because unless a car gets hit back down the racetrack, normally everybody goes to the outside. And that's partly why I made that sweep across on the start line. Because I'm thinking if there's going to be a wreck up here, I want to be on the inside so that I'm underneath the cars that go into the outside of the track. And you can kind of see that unfolding there. And basically, he's dead. I mean, he did have a way out if he'd have hit the brakes. Then he could have avoided this because he wouldn't have been 3 wide, and he might have got lucky in the sense of he might have been far enough behind that this Mercedes just shot across in front of him. I don't really think there's a great deal he could have done other than backing out totally, but if he'd have backed out completely, then he was probably going to get mugged by 2 or 3 cars, which is, I don't know, that's a tough point because personally I would probably have done that because, I mean, he's done. That's the end of his day completely. And even if you're losing out, you've still got a chance of coming back, whereas he's got none right. So we can see there, you can't see him off the screen, but the two Mercedes have gone way off. Now I can see this Ferrari here, and look at the difference in attitude between the Mercedes in front of me and the Ferrari to my left. That Ferrari is coming back this way, and really this is kind of a scenario where there's not a lot you can do. So really all I tried to do here, as you'll be able to see from the chopper cam, is to just stay as close to the inside line as I can. I even put it on the grass because my primary aim is to not get into him in any way. But at the same time, I also know that the longer time I give him to gather that car up, the greater the chance of him actually saving it and not wrecking me anyway. And as we can see, I just about pulled it off. It probably had a bit more on the grass than I wanted to. And then here, I would go to the cockpit cam, but you really can't see any. But I could see that BMW in the mirror, and I figured he might try a run on the outside, but also that he was probably just really trying to make sure he didn't get wrecked too. And so I come out of turn 1, and I've started 6th. I'm now 2nd. Now, I'm just going to go all the way back so that we can see it again. We're going to watch it entirely from the chopper cam. Here you can see the BMW is hitting that Mercedes here. So really, all I'm trying to do here is to give you an idea of the positioning to avoid being in these kind of accidents. And I'm thinking it might help other people, because I see people getting involved in things that I don't really think are necessarily their fault, but I think, man, you could have done more to not get into that. I actually did end up winning this race, but I kind of got a little bit lucky in that regard, and that was mainly because Damien, he sped in the pits on the entry. But I hope this helped.